Today I'm going to be talking to people about men's mental health. For November, I wanted to spread mental health awareness for men. Why men's suicide rate is 3 times greater than women's. The standards that society and expectations have for men, and just what does it mean to be a man? Another beautiful day. I have to take advantage of this nice weather. I don't know how many nice days we're going to have left. And obviously, I don't know how many videos like this I can do if the weather is shitty. So, as of for right now, we're going to take advantage of every nice day we get. How you doing today, bro?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Hey, no complaints. I'm doing good. So what do you think it means to be a man?
I think that what it means to be a man is holding a lot of responsibility from a lot of different people in your lives. So that's one of the biggest things I think what it takes to being a man, I guess, or at least the definition of a man.
And how do you think like society's standards and expectations to fall in, to fit a certain way or to act a certain way, how do you think that kind of plays a role in this?
I think it's a big part of play. I think nowadays it's more lenient, but if you look at the past, one of the biggest things is, being a man involves not necessarily being emotional, not necessarily being open, and holding this authority kind of figure. And I think that's what kind of the biggest things that men have always had comparing to the past to what it is now. I think it's a little more lenient, but I still think there's a lot of work to be done.
Definitely, yeah. So it's kind of like an old school mentality, but there's still signs of it in today's day and age. Like we're slowly kind of progressing to a better expectation.
Correct. It's almost reached the point where men are allowed to be more open than what they were before. Back then it made you seem like you're almost like vulnerable to be open.
Why do you think men's suicide rate is 3 times higher than women's, apparently?
A lot of weight on their shoulder. That's the best way to describe it. I don't think there's anything else to describe it, is that there's so much weight and responsibility on a man's shoulder that when they don't exceed those expectations, you get let down, right? Like anything in general, whenever you just don't hit that expectation or that mark that you want to hit, you tend to get so let down about it, and I think that that's one of the biggest things. And a lot of people don't reach out for help.
So as being a man, like what can we do to like show like, yo, it's okay to reach out for help, or like it's okay to open up about how you may be feeling? Or who can we open up to,
I think, the biggest thing is, as funny as it sounds, opening up to your mom. Like your mom's always been the biggest figure apart where it's like you can talk to her about anything, right? And if it's not your mom, it's your best friend. If it's not your best friend, it's your family member. If it's not your family member, there's always someone who's willing to talk to you. And I think that that's one of the biggest things, is that if you're feeling down, if you're feeling hard, open up to someone who's close to you.
Yo, solid answers, my guy. Thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure. I'll
Have
see
a
you
good
around.
one, eh?
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, bro.
Pleasure to meet you.
Today has not been too hot. I've actually had some really good answers by some really cool people, but unfortunately audio issues. So I'm going to have to scrap them and start new. I don't know what it is. I had to restart my phone. I really hope that fixes the issues I've been having. I just got some coffee. Going to take a little break, refuel, and then get back to asking people these questions about men's mental health. And then some people just don't want to answer, or not. They agree to answer, but they're just afraid to say what they want to say for whatever reason, of being politically incorrect or other people's judgments, or because it's gonna be on the internet forever. I don't know, but wish me luck, guys. How you doing today, dog?
Good, man. How you doing?
Hey, no complaints. We chilling.
Sir.
Yo, so what do you think it means to be a man, or characteristics of a man?
Honestly, now, especially with the way things are going, I think being open with yourself and the people you're around is the biggest thing.
Or like even like personally, like what do you think a man should represent or kind of be,
It's tough because I think growing up, I've realized what it really truly means to be a man, even especially now. I've been staying with my sister and I've been helping her a lot with her nephew, and then kind of seeing the characteristics in their family, and then with myself. I've learned that being selfless and caring for others and being open and kind of taking more time and effort to appreciate what's around you and helping others is being definitely more than a man.
100%, bro. That's a solid answer.
Yeah.
How do you think society's like standards or expectations of what a man should be, how does that play a part in all this?
It does kind of suck. You see it on TV and the shows and all that, and it's to be tough, to be the strong guy, and you see it a lot on Instagram now too, where they're posting these things and they're like, just be a man, go through with it. And to me, that just, there's nothing towards that. So it does have a big part in it, and I think especially people that are younger, they kind of get pulled in by that, and they think, you got to be the big tough guy, you got to pretend and hide all these things, but it's the complete opposite, in fact. So it does play a big part, I think.
Do you think it's
in a negative way, in a way?
Do you think that stigmatism of, being the tough guy, macho man, or kind of like not showing emotion, do you think that's changing, or do you think it's still very much like implemented in our society?
I am seeing changes. I think it's more towards the people that are growing, developing. I would like to see it more in the younger generation, I think, because even growing up, you see how these kids are with other guys and other girls and whichever, and they haven't been included enough yet, or they haven't really noticed it. So I think it is starting to change, and there's been improvement, and I hope to see more, but
It's a slow change.
it is a slow change right now, of course, yeah.
All right, bro, last question. Why do you think men's suicide rate is 3 times higher than women's?
I think because they're a little, suppressed into actually coming out and being open with their emotions and what's going on with them. Because again, with the whole thing of being a man, you kind of want to pretend to be this tough.
It's always all right.
Yeah, it's always all right. And you should always be open. I think that more people should be going out and asking their friends, guy or girl, whichever's going on, just see how you're doing and open up, because I think that's kind of more of the issue.
So like how like just like being a man or being a friend, a sibling, whatever it is, how can we like play a part and like let people know that like, it's okay to open up, or I'm here if you need someone to talk to or a shoulder to lean on.
Yeah, it goes from a text to a call to hey, how you doing? Come out. And then even if you notice little things, if someone's being distant in your group, or there's a few things that might change in their personality or their actions or maybe their habits, just always reach out and support them. And I think that even if you come to it and say, I'm noticing changes, instead of that, maybe approach them and say, hey, like, this is what I'm doing, what are you doing? And just kind of approach it in a different way. And that's a way to help, I guess. Just kind of reach out in a good manner.
Definitely, bro. Yo, I appreciate the time you took. Any, you want to shout out anything or say anything? Or
Nothing too much. Shout out the closet, though. We got some great kicks here, that's for sure.
100%, bro. Yo, it's nice seeing you, my guy. Or what are the expectations of a man?
Let her answer first. I want to hear her.
Well, I think men should be able to talk about their mental health just like women can.
Shouldn't be afraid to like open up or show vulnerability.
Of course not. That doesn't make you any less of a man.
I agree. What do you think?
I think that a lot of people, like a lot of men, don't think that they can talk about what they need to talk about, even though everyone wants to say that they talk about what they need to. However, I still think men want to hide it.
Is that due to like society's standards and expectations? And
I think part of it is from society, but I think part of it is just men alone. We don't want to be looked at as someone who's fragile.
so we always have to put on the persona that everything's all right, even if in reality things aren't going all right.
Yeah.
Resetting my phone did the trick. The audio's working nice now. We haven't had any hiccups. Got some solid answers. This video is finally coming together. What do you think it means to be a man, or what's the expectations of a man?
What are my expectations of being a man?
Yeah. What do you think it is?
I think nowadays you need to be a man that can raise your children when everything else in your life, in your head, is saying that you need to run away from it. And being a man is showing up. Yeah, that's...
And what do you think about society's standards or expectations of what a man should be? How does that affect that?
Well, I think today's society has really gotten away from the disciplinary actions as parents. I'm really old school and was raised with, you know what, I did wrong. There's consequences.
Last question. Why do you think men's suicide rate is 3 times higher than women's?
I don't believe men have the resources available, and no disrespect or any to females and their resources. I do believe that men are not being well represented or being given the avenues that the other gender is being given. And yeah.
Or like, so maybe we feel like we don't have people to talk to about those type of situations, or what?
I think men, we have a sense of, always having to look after everything and be the stronger of the partner in the relationship, or as a gender, and we're not allowed to show, or it's not socially acceptable to say, you know what, I'm hurting, I'm sad, I feel like crap, I don't feel okay. you know, it's not socially acceptable to have a man talk in this way. You know what? It took me a lot of years to get to that point, and thank goodness there was some people along the way that's helped me get to be where I am today. And you know what? That's why I'm hanging out with the cats that I hang out with today. You know what? I haven't been okay for about a week or so, and I'm hanging out with my brother that's not blood related. And I feel a lot better about myself because, you know what? Those are the people that care about me. Those are the people that love me, and they know that I care about them, and they know that I love them too, and I do anything for them, and they do anything for me.
Or if something's going on, it's okay to speak up about it. Or
Hell yeah, man. Oh, hell
you
yeah.
need friends like these guys you're talking about.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? There's nothing wrong with saying that you're not okay. You're not okay. You're not in a good space. You're not feeling good. You're hurt. You're sad. You're in pain. You know what? Reach out to somebody. Tell them. Somebody that cares about you and loves you. Reach out, man. And you know what? Get some help, and you can get help. There is resources. For men, we have to look a little bit harder than the females do. But if you want it, it's available.
Definitely, my man. Yeah. Anything else? Hey, you did a good job. Thank you for all your answers.
You know what? You're a good man. Way to go. I'm proud of you for doing this, man. That's pretty cool.
It's November. I'm trying to spread some awareness for men's mental health, you know.
You know what? Thank you. I appreciate it. It helps me feel good today.
Comfortable within your friendship group. There's always someone that you can turn to, whether it's a mentor or, you know, a lot of people now, especially I think even in the older generations, are more open to hearing people talk about their problems. They might not necessarily be able to understand you, but I think everyone has that one person that they know they could talk to. And it's about having that faith and that bravery to step up and do that. But at the same time, there's also, you know, other channels. You know, you can call like helplines, you can arrange free sessions on mental health and all sorts of things through your school, through your university, through your workplace. It's just people don't know about it, and it's super important that, you know, like, Jesus Christ, if you need to, put on some music and just cry. I mean, that's what I used to do.
Yeah. How you doing today, bro?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. What do you think it means to be a man, or what are the expectations of men?
Depends on the person, really.
Personally, what do you think a man has to?
For me?
Yeah.
To, you know, be happy wherever you are
Definitely.
in life. Be happy with what you're doing. Be happy with who you are as a person. Man or woman, that's all that really matters.
So just like living your truth, being true to who you are.
Understand what you don't and don't like, and, you know, don't change for other people, you know?
100%. How do you think like society's expectations and standards play into this, or the added pressure to fit a certain mold? Or
I think you just may need to. I feel like it's made out that you have to have a certain amount of success as a man, or you're a failure. But it's
financially.
Yeah, financially, or, you know, provide for a family or something. But as long as you're happy with what you have, that's all that really matters.
Do you think that like stigmatism, do you think it's slowly changing? Because it's kind of like an old school mentality, right? Like be a provider, don't show emotion, kind of stuff like that. Do you think it's still very much rooted in our society?
I think since you know, where our roots are, there always have some of that in our society, but I think less so nowadays.
All right, last question. Why do you think men's suicide rate is higher than women's? Apparently it's 3 times higher.
3 times higher? Probably just they bottle it up more. I feel like there's less of a openness towards it, because as a man you're supposed to be tough, you're supposed to be able to deal with it, you're supposed to be able to roll with the punches and move on.
Put on a front like everything's okay, even though things might not be okay.
Exactly.
So what can we do to kind of break that?
Ask a brother how he's doing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Reaching out, letting him know that, like, hey man, if you want someone to talk to, I'm here for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely, bro. All right, thank you for taking the time, man. How you guys doing today?
Fine. Thank you. And you?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking. What do you think it means to be a man, or what are the expectations of men?
Of men? I think that there are two different points when you heard something about be a man.
Yeah.
The first one is the point that the society and usual men expecting you, expecting some patterns of your behavior, like you have to like football, you have to be stronger, you have to, and it's terrible for the mental health, especially of men's, and of course it's affect women's life also, and it's very complicated because in fact everyone's got arm about this kind of culture. And the another point is that now we can see more men trying to rebuild their concepts about masculinity and about being a man. And you were asking us about to talk about the mental health.
What about like personally? What do you think? Like not society's standards, but what do you think a man is? And
for me, I think that for me personally, I think that it has to be someone that wants to learn more things about life. For me personally, because as a man, I think that we grow up in societies without knowing each other, without being in touch with people, and without being acceptable as a sensitive person or something like that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like why I'm out here doing this. It kind of forces people to be vulnerable and open up and kind of tell me their opinion. You kind of have already talked about it, but yeah, how do you think like society's standards and expectations of what a man should be, how does that play a part or apply pressure on men on how they should act and stuff like that?
I think that men needs to review their concepts every time, because as I told you, we have a society based in males, patterns and points of views. So when men start to review these questions and review their concepts and learn about another point of view, I think that it's more helpful for men.
Do you think it is changing slowly, or do you think it's still very much rooted?
I think that it's changed, but very slowly.
It's a slow progression.
Yeah, slow progression, because when you have some friends with you doing some jokes that is not good for everyone, especially for girls. I have a lot of girlfriends that said, "Oh, I don't feel comfortable with a lot of men, with a lot of people like that." So it's difficult. It's still difficult for everyone.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. Why do you think men's suicide rate apparently it's 3 times higher than women? Why do you think that is?
Oh, this is terrible, and it occurs especially because men are the people that, as you said, society is expecting something. So when you see the rate of people with depression, with anxiety, a lot of are men, and they don't talk about it. They don't go to therapy.
They don't want to be weak.
Exactly.
But let's be honest, like it's not realistic to always rely on yourself. You need other people, right? You need to open up to other people.
Yeah, exactly.
So like as men, what do you think we could do just to kind of start that change? Even as a friend or even as a sibling, to show people like, hey, you can talk to me or you can reach out to me if you need it,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think that it starts in the end of every talk or conversation when someone is like asking you, how are you? But when someone is asking like, how are you truly, or just for like to be polite.
Yeah, that's why I like to do this, because like I said, it forces people to be honest and be vulnerable, because so many conversations are just, oh, how are you doing today? Oh, the weather, very surface level small talk. So this forces some good conversations for sure.
Engagement between people, and it's necessary.
100%.
The pandemic shows to everyone that it's really necessary to be close to people, even when you're talking with your cell phone or something like that. So it's important.
Thank you, my man, for taking the time and talking to me. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right.
You just at work, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I just out here grinding.
Yeah. Making that bag, collecting that money.
What do you think it means, or what are the expectations of being a man?
I
as sad as it is, I feel like there's an expectation of us to like be like strong and that we can't really like express ourselves sometimes, and that we have to like sometimes like bottle up our emotions inside or else we look weak.
Do you think, because it's like an old school mentality, right?
Yeah, I feel like it still kind of exists in today's society, that like older school
Do
mentality.
you think it is changing slowly, but it's a very like slow progression, or?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it is changing slowly, but I think it really there's still a lot of work to be done.
How you doing today?
All good, very good.
That's good.
Nice to meet you. What's the name?
Sebastian.
Nice
yeah.
to meet you. My name
What's
is
your?
Amit.
Ahmed.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, bro. What do you think it means to be a man, or what are the expectations of being a man?
There can be different perceptions, but I think there are some facts that society has built around, and
Like, what are some of them?
to be honest, it might be different because I'm from a different country. I'm from India.
Yeah.
So it would be weak for a man to cry in front of others. Whereas it shouldn't be, right? It's just a show of emotions. So I think that's one fact that I would like to change, that the society has built around. So yeah.
Yeah. So like, you kind of already talked about it, but yeah, like society's expectations and the added pressure.
Yeah.
That does, like, how does that apply to this?
So just like how a man is called the bread earner of the house, which shouldn't be the case if a woman wants to work and if the husband wants to stay at home and do the chores at house.
Yeah, definitely.
That's totally okay, and that's nothing to be ashamed of, to be honest. So it really depends from person to person and how a person is open-minded in those kinds of things. So I think society does play a big role in it.
Do you think it's slowly changing,
I think it is, yeah.
but it's still like deeply rooted?
Yeah, there's still what do you call it, stigma around it, but I think it's slowly opening up, especially guys like you are talking about it, and it's really important to talk about and educate other people about it, saying that it's really okay to do what you feel is best, and do what you do regardless of what other people say or give their opinion about it.
100%. It's okay to cry.
Definitely.
It's okay to open up about how you're feeling.
Exactly, which is what mental health is all about, right? Showing your emotions and displaying how you feel.
100%.
Yeah.
Last question. Why do you think men's suicide rate, apparently it's 3 times higher than women's?
Wow. That's a tough question. I mean, I think it's all about pressure, and if you feel like you're in this kind of situation, you should go to your friends or someone who's close to you. You should go and talk to them about it, tell them what you feel, and maybe that'll make you feel light about it.
100%.
Sharing always helps, I think.
Yeah.
And
everyone has someone,
yeah, of course.
whether it's friends, family,
Brother, sister,
someone.
someone.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I think sharing really helps, and I think a lot of people don't really do that, and that's why I think there's this feeling where you feel alone, and which kinds of
Especially COVID and pandemic, right? Being alone in your head, not talking to people.
Exactly. Especially at these times we're so much isolated. Fortunately now things are opening up a bit, but then during the pandemic, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm out here, to talk to people, have human interaction, face-to-face interaction,
Definitely.
get other people's opinions, and I know these kind of conversations can help people.
Definitely.
Maybe if you don't have someone you can talk to, you can watch this video and realize, oh shit, I'm not alone, or other people feel the same way.
Yeah. You should definitely start sharing, and I think it would definitely help. Make you feel better. Even if it doesn't, maybe the other person can relate to what you feel right now.
100%.
Yeah.
A lot of times I feel like we think how we feel like we're the only ones.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's probably safe to say majority of people are feeling the same way.
To be honest, yeah. And unless and until you don't open up, we won't really know what you're feeling inside, right?
100%.
But you have to You have to look around for the company which is best for you. Surround yourself with people who want the good for you.
Yes.
Yeah. So
non-judgment.
Exactly.
People open arms. Yeah,
perfectly.
man.
Do what you want. Do what you feel like. No judgment. If you want to sit at home, do nothing, that's okay. You want to go out, that's okay. Whatever you feel like. Yeah.
And that's what being a man is being true to who you are.
Exactly. Like, to be honest, I don't really follow. So in India, you can't really wear piercings or stuff. So there are some perceptions that it is girly to wear piercings, but I don't really feel like. I feel like I think they look good on me, so I do it.
Yeah, bro, you rock it. Yeah. No, I can relate. I'm half Filipino, half Asian, so like, I wasn't allowed to look like this growing up. I had to wait till I moved out. You know, they want you to look clean cut, no tattoos, no piercings, and even like sometimes like I'll paint my nails and stuff, and for some people they'll give you funny looks or think things, but it's like, man, like the very old school mentality.
Yeah, it's really orthodox, and I think people should start coming out of that.
Yeah, man.
Even if you paint your nails, doesn't really mean that.
anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And when they see people like me and you expressing ourselves the way we want to, hopefully that can spark something in other people to, oh shit, I can do what I want.
Do that. Yeah, I can do that as well. But then you might also, face some kind of people who
prejudice.
Who be making fun of you. So don't really care about that. Let's just just kill their hate with kindness.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can work in a good way because like that's showing you, I don't want to hang out with those people. I don't want to be, even like jobs. Oh, if a job doesn't want me to work for them because I look a certain way, well, I don't want to work for you.
Exactly. So if you're talking about jobs, a man can be a nurse as well. Why can't he be a nurse?
100%.
Exactly. And it's not really about gender, to be honest. It's like, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta...
Regardless of what gender, regardless of
what anyone thinks.
100%.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for taking the time and answering these questions, bro.
Thank you so
I appreciate it. God damn. That's the end of the video. That's the end of today. I've literally been in these streets all day, and as you see now, it's nightfall. Gonna try this new restaurant. I don't even know what to call it, a hot dog on a stick type of deal. But yeah, we're gonna see how that shit goes. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I don't have my mic on me as of right now, but just know you're never alone, and you can always reach out and express yourself how you're feeling. It's okay to have a bad day, a bad week, a bad month. It doesn't make you any less of a man or a person or anything, but much love, guys.